The Toronto Blue Jays get swept by the Philadelphia Phillies in the short two-game series, and this game had tons of negatives, and a lot of things did not go right. And there's a few things we need to discuss as there are some problems for this Blue Jays team. So we're going to break that down coming up next. What's up, Jays fans? I'm Gosse, host of Jays Digest. And before we get into the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Your support's been unbelievable. We're on the road to 7,000 subscribers. We're very, very close, about 100 away. So if you hit that button, it would mean a lot. But let's just get into the game, and this one was it was a doozy. Jays lost in extra innings in the bottom of the 10th by a score of 2-1, and there's a lot of things we can discuss in this game, and let's just get right into it. And we have a problem, and this isn't specified to one individual. It's more so specified for the whole team. We are not playing well at all right now, and there's just so many things we need to discuss in this game. Let's just go through the hitters, and this is, of course, a key issue here. The bats were ice cold. They did not do their job at all, besides Brendan Belt, who hit a home run. Bo Bichette, of course, got a hit. Vladdy got a hit. No one else even contributed, and the offense was cold. Now, the offense happened. They've been doing pretty good for the past past week. They've been doing okay, and the pitching staff has, been stepping up recently as well. But recently, especially this game, the bullpen, they blew it, specifically Jordan Romano. And this game is a very hard one for me to discuss because so many things happened. But let's just start with what just happened around 10 minutes ago. Jordan Romano came in with a 1-0 game in a game that saw the offense struggle on both sides. Kevin Gausman was absolutely dominant, which we'll discuss later. But in a day where the offense is struggling as much as it is, you need someone like Jordan Romano. You need your lockdown closer to come in and lock it down and win the game, because that's what they do. You're coming in high leverage situations, and again, usually when they're saves, it's on days where most likely the bats weren't going as well. And as you can see here, the bats were ice cold. So you bring in Jordan Romano, and he blows it. He gives up a couple of hard hit balls. You can see the stats here: 1 inning, 3 hits, 1 run. And Vladdy saves him another run and saved them from losing the game there in the bottom of the 9th. But Romano just has to be better. He's blown a lot of saves. I don't know the number off the top of my head because I just started recording this like right after the game, but he blew a lot. He's blown a lot of saves. He looks shaky. There's times where he looks dominant, and there's times where he looks shaky. And Peter's obviously not here today, but he said something that's very, very true to me on text. He said, these are the games where your elite closer has to win. You have to win these for the Blue Jays. And if you're, Jordan Romano, I'm sure he's beating himself up over it, but he needs to lock these games down when the offense is not going well. Because, again, the offense was not going well, and you pay your closers to lock down games like this. So Jordan Romano needs to step up, and that is definitely a big part of the issue. And he would have lost the game in the bottom of the 9th if it wasn't for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And then you go to the bottom of the 10th, and I'm skipping over the top of the 10th, so I'll discuss that in a minute. But you go to the bottom of the 10th. Tim Mayza comes in. Of course, we didn't score any in the top of the 10th, and men on first, men on third, whatever it is. Bryce Harper comes up, grounds the ball right back to Tim Mayza. There's 1 out. He throws it to second. Easy out at second. Bryce Harper is jogging because he assumes a double play. He's hit into a double play and the game's over. Tons of time for Bo Bichette to fire it over the first. If you look at the replay, Bryce was literally jogging. He had so much time, a good 4 or 5 feet. Chucks it so far away from Vladdy for the air and loses in the game on the walk-off in another inning that we should have been easily out of. It was a pitcher-made double play. Great play by Tim Mayza. Great pitching by Tim Mayza. And we lose the game on that ridiculous throw by Bo Bichette. Now, Bo Bichette's defense has been great as of late, but man, what a poor performance what a poor throw out of Bo Bichette. And I'll give him some leeway. He's been phenomenal on both ends of the ball recently, but it's another problem that the Blue Jays have had is just attention to detail. And finally, John Schneider, it was a bad, I'm not going to blame the loss on John Schneider because he absolutely did not lose the game. The players have been brutal recently. They've been awful throughout these past couple weeks. Even in their little win against the Pirates, they were playing well, but it's like the Pirates are depleted right now. John Schneider pinch hits Alejandro Kirk for Kevin Kiermaier in the top of the 10th instead of Santiago Espinal, who batted right before and got out. It made no sense to me. It was another questionable decision by John Schneider, and he's made a ton of questionable decisions since he started the season, really. But I'm curious to see what you guys think about that decision because it made no sense to me. If you're going to bring in Alejandro Kirk to pinch hit, it makes sense. Do it for Santiago Espinal, who has not been hitting the ball well at all this season. He hasn't been hitting the ball well since halfway through last season. Righty on righty. Santiago Espinal's a righty anyway, so you bring Alejandro Kirk with 1 out, men on second to get a chance to drive the run in because he hits a lot of singles. He doesn't do that. He lets Espinal get free easy out against Craig Kimbrell. And then he brings him in a pitch hit for Kevin Kiermaier, who's been pretty hot as of late, and Kirk has not been hot. But Kevin Kiermaier is also a lefty, and you bring him in for Kiermaier instead of Espinal. It made no sense to me at all. And I'm not a John Schneider hater, but he's made some tons of questionable decisions, and we'll wait till Peter comes back to have a full discussion. Because I know Peter, obviously, he's more on the John Schneider train than I am, but I'm starting to get off the train now. It just makes no sense. Countless questionable decision after questionable decision, and how much a manager truly impacts winning, we don't know. It's not very much at all. But when you're making questionable decisions like this to make people like me talk about you, something needs to change. And I don't know. When people like me are talking about the manager, something has to change. But those are the three big problems out of this game. And the overarching theme here is that the Blue Jays need to figure it out. Their attention to detail has not been there. They've been getting bailed out sometimes. The bullpen at times is elite. At times, like Jordan Romano blows the save. It's just the team is so up and down. We need to find a steady point, and we need to start winning consistent ball games. We had our little 6-7 game win streak earlier in the year, but since then we've been up and down, more so down. And if you want to keep up with this AL East, we have to win these games. This is a game we have to win. And again, shout out to Brennan Belt there for the home run. He performed well today, but just the Schneider decision, the Bo Bichette throw to end the game was kind of just, it wrapped everything up in just an atrocious game for the Blue Jays and one they needed to win. And I'm not going to harp on it too much further, but Jays are a problem, and they need to find a fix for it soon. Let me know in the comments what you think the fix could be. But let's get into some positives now. And the main positive here is Kevin Gausman, and he pitched phenomenally. He had some struggles earlier in the game, but what a game out of Kevin Gausman. And you can see his box score there. I popped it up earlier, but I'll pop it up again for you. 6 innings, 3 hits, no walks, 9 Ks. His splitter was absolutely dominant. He was missing a lot of bats. No walks is huge for him. Got through 6 innings. Obviously, when you're striking out as many as he is, the pitch count is up. He touched 99 miles per hour. Despite having a high pitch count, he touched 99 miles per hour, the hardest pitch as a Blue Jay. And he was dealing. Very, very happy for Kevin Gausman. That's one pitcher on the pitching staff who's been dominant the whole year. He's had a couple of spot starts here and there, but overall, it's been unbelievable. And seeing him touch 99 put a smile on my face, and I was hoping that Jordan Romano would be able to come in and give him the win there, but unfortunately, we weren't able to do that. And Kevin Gausman has not been getting any run support by the Toronto Blue Jays offense, and it's something that is very unfortunate, and I don't know. Again, this is a quick reaction after the game, so it's kind of, my brain is still juggling. There's so many things to talk about, and Peter wasn't able to make it today, so I'm sure maybe in our off day tomorrow we'll have a more in-depth discussion at the whole Blue Jays problem as a whole, but there's just a lot of little things that need to be fixed, and there's a big problem right now with the Blue Jays, and who knows what the fix will be, but the Jays need to lock it in. And quickly touching the bullpen, Jimmy Garcia was great. Shout out to him. He's starting to turn a corner a little bit there. Eric Swanson is filthy, absolutely dominant. Huge inning for him. And Tim Meza as well. Shout out to Tim Meza. He should have got added the 10th inning without allowing a run. But unfortunately, the defense let him down. And I don't know, very, very unfortunate. And a couple of shout outs. Again, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., unbelievable defense. He even made it a play in the bottom of the 10th at home. Almost got him, but he didn't. And then, shout out to Tim Meza as well. But one other thing I want to quickly touch on is the play there. I don't remember what inning it was. I think it was the 9th with Jordan Romano where the ball was hit up the middle and people thought SB could go to second to get Bichette. It's another thing that maybe SB made the wrong read there. Would have helped him out a lot. But let me know what your thoughts are on that. There was just so many things throughout this game that was it was hard. It was a fun game until it got very, very unfun. Very not boring, but just frustrating if you're a Blue Jays fan. And there's been so many frustrating games for the Toronto Blue Jays so far this season, but it's just something you have to bear with because it's a very long season. And I don't know. The offense was cold. The pitching was great up until it wasn't with Jordan Romano, and the defense. Bo Bichette's been playing so well at short, but he ultimately threw the ball away and lost in the game. But we'll wrap up now with a quick look ahead. And this schedule gets absolutely even more brutal than it already has been. We're off tomorrow on Thursday. We'll try to have a video for you guys of some sort. And then starting on Friday, we play 17 straight games. So against a lot of competitive teams, starting with the Braves and Spencer Strider. We're going to be playing against him. I hear that Mike Soroka might be making his return, which would be very, very cool for the Blue Jays to play fellow Canadian Mike Soroka. But it's going to be a busy next couple of weeks, and hopefully we do get to see Mike Soroka, but either way, it's going to be very busy. It's going to be very difficult for the Blue Jays. We need to start winning games. The Rays aren't losing. I feel like I say this 100 times a video, but the AL East is unbelievable, and it's not going to get any easier. Neither is the schedule right now, so we have to win games like this. The Jays have a problem right now. They need to fix it, but unfortunately for them, they haven't been fixing it as we got swept. Of course, it's just a 2-game series, but we get swept by the Red Sox, then we sweep the Pirates, and then we get swept by the Phillies. We had to find some sort of consistency so when we don't get either swept or win. We may lose one and then win a couple as opposed to lose them all, but I don't know. I'll digress, and that'll wrap up the video. A bit of a more unstructured one today without Peter, but the support's been unbelievable despite the Blue Jays being a bit hard to watch right now. But it's still fun. I'm glad baseball is here, but that'll wrap up the video. Thank you guys for watching. See you tomorrow.